Hello everyone. In this video we will be taking a look at three-phase inverter operating in 120-degree mode. This is the circuit diagram. In comparison with a single-phase full-bridge inverter circuit, we have additional two thyristors that are used over here. Now we need to understand how DC input is converted to three-phase AC output, right? In order to do that, we can achieve by controlling all these six thyristors in a specific manner, and that control in a specific sequence can be done by 120-degree mode, and I'll be explaining that in detail. So I'm going to consider a star connected resistive load in this case, which are equal value of say R. Now in order to simplify our analysis, we know that in general there is 360 degree, isn't it? And this will be our conduction sequence. For every 60-degree there will be one thyristor that was previously conducting as off, and then the new thyristor will be turned on. Basically 1 2 was conducting, 2 will still remain on, and 1 will be turned off, and then 3 will start conducting. In the next cycle what will happen, I will still retain 3 as it is, and 2 will be turned off and 4 will be turned on. In the next cycle again 4 will be kept as it is, 3 will be turned off, 5 will be turned on. So this is the pattern in which we will be triggering the thyristor, and by doing so what are we going to achieve is something that we need to understand, right? We need to achieve a three-phase output waveform. So if you carefully observe, for every 120 degree the same thyristor will be conducting, that is 2 is conducting from this interval to this interval, that is for 120 degree. Again when 3 starts conducting, it conducts for 120 degree. Again when 4 starts conducting, it conducts for 120 degree. So each thyristor is conducting for a total duration of 120 degree, and that is why this is called as 120 degree mode. Now to simplify our analysis, let's say I'm going to take this particular interval, that is when 6 and 1 or 1 and 6 is conducting, what will happen? So if you understand what happens for one cycle, you will understand the complete operation. It is just the same analysis that you need to replicate. Now when 6 and 1 is conducting, what will happen is thyristor T1 and T6 are forward biased. Consequently they'll be acting as short circuited, isn't it? So Vs is connected through this path, so the current starts flowing through this path, and it flows through this path. Because T4 is turned off, it will flow through this path, it will flow through this path, and A is basically positive over here, isn't it? Consequently, when negative is connected to T6 and T6 is triggered, what will happen? The current flow will be through this path as well, isn't it? So you'll be having the current flow from this direction, it will continue over here through this direction, through this direction, through this direction, and then it will return to the negative portion of the power supply. So basically what is the observation here? A is connected to the positive terminal through T1 and B is connected to the negative terminal, isn't it? So the inference is A is connected to positive plate and B is connected to negative plate. Very, very important observation. I'll tell you why this is important. We will continue this observation. So we had seen what happens when 6 and 1 is conducting. So I'll just going to be drawing a equivalent circuit for that. So in this case, what will happen is, we know that the circuit was connected between points A and B. So this would be the nature of the circuit when we redraw the previous circuit. So in this circuit, what we are going to find is, we are going to find the value of I. So I is given by supply voltage divided by 2R, isn't it? So Vs is the supply voltage. We have two resistors of equal value. They are connected in series. So I is equal to Vs by 2R. So what is VAN? That is, what is the phase voltage? VAN. So VAN is nothing but the product of current and the resistor R, isn't it? So that is nothing but I into R. So when you substitute I value over here as Vs by 2R and into R, you will be getting Vs by 2. So similarly what will happen? VBN will be equal to minus Vs by 2, isn't it? Same analysis, and VCN will be equal to 0. Now what I am trying to say is, when 6 and 1 is conducting, VAN will be equal to a voltage of Vs by 2, and VBN will be equal to a voltage of minus Vs by 2, and VCN will be equal to 0 because it is open circuited, because only 6N1 is conducting over here. Now, why is this important? This is important because we need to draw the waveforms, isn't it? So for that, we need to understand, we now know when 6N1 is conducting, A was positive and B is negative. So there is a simple shortcut where we can analyze and draw the table for drawing the wave case. Now if the phase terminal is connected to, that is if A is connected to the positive of the battery, or if the phase terminal A is connected, or any other terminal is connected to the positive terminal of the power supply, then V phase N will be equal to Vs by 2. Again, if the phase terminal is connected to negative terminal of the supply, then it will be equal to minus Vs by 2. And if the phase terminal is not connected at all, then it will be equal to 0. So this is the simplest shortcut. If you understand this point, for any conduction sequence, you will be able to write the values. So VAN is equal to Vs by 2, VBN is equal to minus Vs by 2, and VCN is equal to 0. Now we are going to write the table. So similarly, as we saw, when 6N1 was conducting, VAN was Vs by 2, VBN was minus Vs by 2, and VCN is equal to 0. Now again, when 1 and 2 is conducting, when 1 and 2 is conducting, what will happen? Only if you carefully observe, when 1 and 2 is connecting, only VAN and VCN will be, that is A and C will be connected. To the A is connected to positive and C is connected to negative. As a result, wherever it is connected to positive, you will write as Vs by 2. Wherever it is connected as negative, you will write as minus Vs by 2. Since B is open terminal, because not even one of the thyristors in the leg is connected, that is 3 and 6 over here are open circuit. So consequently, the voltage across it will be equal to 0. So the same pattern repeats. So why is this important? If you understand how to arrive at this table, drawing the waveform is very simple. Now, why is waveform required? Waveform is required for you to clearly state that DC waveform is converted to three-phase AC waveform. Now again, I'm considering the table as reference. So we have Vs by 2 and minus Vs by 2, which is going to be obtained throughout this particular waveform. So what happens initially? We have only with respect to VA, and if you see, we have initially from each of these intervals is basically 60 degrees. So initially Vs by 2 is the VAN value. Again, from when 1 and 2 is connecting, it is again Vs by 2, isn't it? So when 6 and 1 is connecting, it is Vs by 2. When 1 and 2 is connecting, it is still Vs by 2. In the next cycle, it will be equal to 0, isn't it? According to the table. Just observe this particular column, that is 0. Again, it will go to minus Vs by 2. This is the next value. Again, it will be minus Vs by 2 in the next duration as well. So this is because of 2 and 3. This is because of 3 and 4. And this is because of 4 and 5. Again, what will happen? Again, it will go to 0 because of 5 and 6. And the cycle repeats. Similarly, you need to draw the waveform for VBN as well. So if you correlate with the table, it is very simple as where you have to start and where you have to end, and what is the nature of waveform you are going to get. Again, for VCN, you'll be getting like this. Now we need to find the line voltage as well. In this case, I am just showing you with respect to VAB. You can also write it for VBC, VCA as well. So VAB line voltage is nothing but VA minus VB. So I'll just show it for one scenario over here. So VA minus VB, as in VA is Vs by 2, minus of minus Vs by 2 will be equal to Vs. So it will be starting at Vs, and then again in this sequence, that is VAN, basically VAN minus VBN, that is Vs by 2 minus 0. So you'll be getting Vs. So you'll be getting this nature. Again in the next cycle it will be like this. So it continues. You have to basically difference of VAN and VBN will give you the line voltage. I hope this point is clear. So overall, what is the inference that we are able to observe? If you carefully observe the line voltage, if you carefully observe, this is a square wave, isn't it? Stepped square wave. So you will have to convert this into pure sine wave, and that is where you will be using a filter to do that. But in general, you'll be able to achieve a three-phase AC output waveform, isn't it? So you're converting DC to three-phase AC. Now what is the conclusion? Each thyristor conducts for a period of 120 degree, and each thyristor is triggered at an interval of 60 degree, isn't it? Each of the thyristor sequence was triggered at an interval of 60 degree. At a time, only two thyristors are conducting. Phase voltage is basically quasi-square waveform, which we saw. Line voltage is a stepped waveform, which we saw again. And maximum amplitude of the phase voltage is Vs by 2. Maximum amplitude of line voltage that we saw was Vs. So these are the inferences that we can get from the waveform. I hope this video gave you a clear understanding of how a three-phase inverter operates at 120 degree mode. In case you have any questions, feel free to reach out by typing in your questions in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Thank you.